Hi, my name is Ben Skydell. I teach in the Dr. Beth Samuels High School program and in the July Summer Kollel here at Drisha. Our Parsha this week, Parashat Kedoshim, begins as follows. Vayedaber Adonai el Moshe lemor, God spoke to Moshe saying, Daber el kol adad b'nei Yisrael v'amarta alehem, speak to the whole Jewish community and say to them, Kedoshim tiyu, ki kadosh ani Adonai Elohechem. You shall be holy, for I, the Lord your God, am holy. Now this phrase and this translation of Kedoshim as being holy has a whole series of implications if taken to its natural conclusion. Because for some great Jewish thinkers, it means that the Jewish people can be holier than all other people. And for some great Jewish thinkers, it means that the Jewish people may in fact be holier than all other people. I would like to suggest another way of thinking about this, and this was first suggested to me by my great teacher, Rabbi Yitzchak Greenberg. The word Kedoshim often, and if you look at Rashi's translation, Rashi's commentary on the Torah, alludes to this, doesn't necessarily mean holy, but perhaps means separate. And therefore what the Torah is telling us is not to be holy, but to be separate, to be different. This point is brought out in a very, very important passage in the Haftorah for this week's Parsha, and that is from the 9th chapter of the book of Amos, the book of Amos. There, the Haftorah tells us as follows. Halo kivnei kushim atem li b'nei Yisrael, nu Adonai. Halo et Yisrael haliti meretz Mitzrayim, uflishtiim mechaftor va'aram mikir. God says, to me you Israelites are just like the Ethiopians. True, I brought Israel up from the land of Egypt, but I also brought the Philistines from Kaftor and the Arameans from Kir. What is the prophet telling us here? The prophet is telling us that it is true. The remarkable story of the Exodus, which is so foundational for Judaism and Jewish thought, is one that is unique to the Jewish people. But other peoples also have Exodus stories, and God has a relationship with them as well. In the words of the great Israeli philosopher Yeshayahu Leibowitz, Shahare kol hagoyim v'halashonot heim b'hashkachat Elohim. All of the nations and all of the peoples of the world, they are all under God's providence. B'chol ma she'era be'historiya l'Yisrael u'chol ha'amim harei b'bechinat etzba Elohim lo kol adifut o yitron l'Yisrael. That anything that happens in history to all peoples of the world, be they Jewish and be they Gentile, all of it is under God's protection and under God's providence, with no difference, or no greater difference, than what God does to the Jewish people. The only difference is that separate, different commandment or duty that God places upon the Jewish people. And to kind of take Leibovitz's idea and change it a drop, the only difference between Jews and Gentiles in Amos' telling is the mitzvot and the specific directive that God gives. There is nothing inherently different, there is nothing inherently special, and there is nothing inherently more worthy or more worthwhile. This is an exceptionally vital and important lesson. Because yes, the Jews may be chosen, but chosen for a task. They may be special, but not the only special people. And they may be exceptional, but many other people fall under God's providence and God's protection who are exceptional as well. And this is an essential and vital lesson, not just of our Parsha, but of the Torah as a whole. Shabbat Shalom.